I'm Joe Bracken.
And I'm Dan McDuffie.
And we're back here with Tech Points. We're going to be covering a couple things today, but Dan's going to start off with a couple websites that he has that he'd like to tell us about. So what do you got today, Dan?
Yeah, just a couple of cool things. In a previous episode, we talked to you about Gmail. And I also talked about 30 Boxes, which was a cool sort of online collaboration calendar that you could use for, you could use for yourself or use for big groups of people that needed to go back and forth. Well, Google just released, and actually this was maybe a week or so ago, but the Google Calendar, which I've now stopped using 30 Boxes and started using the Google Calendar. And this is sort of the way it goes with technology, but they tend to release new things all the time, so you've constantly got to be adapting and growing with it. But the Google Calendar is very cool. You can see we have a Tech Points calendar here. You can add more calendars and other calendars. So you can just add another calendar for yourself. Once you've got more calendars in, you can then decide whether you want to view that calendar. It gives them different colors. Another cool thing is this manage the calendars. You can take these calendars and share them. So you can share the individual calendars with different people. So like you have the ability to look at mine, right, or at least one of mine. So I can add a person in here, invite them to view my calendar, and then decide what I want them to be able to do in the calendar. So they can change things, they can add things, or just see that I'm free or busy. You can see here, share only my free busy information and hide the details. So if I really only wanted Joe to know that I was busy during this certain block of time, he could see that I was busy, but you wouldn't be able to tell what I was actually doing.
So are those the people that share the calendar with you, are they able to edit the calendar as well, or is it just?
It depends on what I set the permission as, whether I allow them to edit it or just allow them to view. So you can set those permissions. And you can share calendars back and forth, so this might be great for my fiance and I to do, to share calendars.
Like a Little League team, if they want to keep an online calendar or your community group, anything like that, or family for that matter.
Yep.
Everyone has a different schedule, different calendar, you can share them all.
Yeah, a nice thing about this is everybody has their own login, so they'd have to create a Google Calendar and then log into.
Okay, so you have to have a Gmail.
You have to have a Gmail account,
so
which
it's
again, Gmail's by invitation only, which we have tons of invitations. So if you'd like an invitation, send us an email at techpoints@gmail.com, and we can get you an invitation. They're pretty easy to get, but you still have to have one.
And then I noticed that you can import, like I use a Mac, so you can import this calendar, at least for me, into iCalendar. Can you do that for a PC? Like if I have an Outlook or something? You
can import a calendar from a CVS file for a PC, which is a comma-separated value file, and so you can export from Outlook to a CVS and import it into your Google Calendar.
Okay.
You can't sync the calendars, which would be a real nice feature. If you could sync your Google Calendar with your Outlook. It's a one-time import into the Google Calendar, which, is good and bad at the same time. If you're an existing Outlook user, which I was, and I want to switch to Google Calendar, I can take all that old information and the birthdays and everything that I have reminders set for me and have them sent to Google Calendar.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, one very nice thing about the reminders is that you can actually set the reminders to SMS you on your cell phone. And that SMS is, just a text message, basically. But Google will send you a reminder however you set it up, whether it's one reminder of everything you have to do in the day or individual reminders for each different event. Now remember, there's a cost related
Okay,
to
yeah.
receiving.
I was going to ask that. Okay, but there's no cost for them to. There's no cost for the service to send.
There's no cost for Google to send you the messages, but your cell phone provider is going to charge you, and I want to say mine's 5 cents every time I receive a text message.
Unless you have a plan or something
Yeah.
that includes them. Okay.
You can get unlimited plans and stuff like that, but I'm going to get charged 5 cents every time. But if it means I make an appointment on time, I'm willing to, pay up that 5 cents.
That's
So.
good. What else do we have then also on your list for today?
Another cool thing that I just find amazing, and it's about time somebody started doing this, but ABC.com is actually streaming television shows.
Great.
So, and they have 4 of them on their list right now. It's Desperate Housewives, Lost, Alias, and Commander-in-Chief. So you can actually watch any one of these shows, and you got to launch this up, and here we'll get this centered on the screen. You can watch any of these shows. The previous week's show, so the Lost that played on Wednesday, you can now watch up until the next one comes out.
Wow. And how much does it cost?
Completely free.
Completely free.
Now, well, I say completely free, but you do have to watch 4 30-second commercials that you cannot fast forward through. I'm just going to play this real quick. We don't have any sound, so you're not going to hear it. But it is an amazing quality. The size is going to depend on your monitor. It's a decent size if you're sitting close to the monitor. You might not want to play it on your TV, but...
So, I mean, if you need to catch up or you missed an episode, not a bad way to get that episode. And for free.
And completely free, yeah. Now, they have had some issues with ABC.com crashing because of this. This has only been out for a couple of weeks. But, with that many people watching it and that many streams, it's sort of hard for a website to keep up. So that is very cool, though. I hope more television stations will start doing this. There's a big issue out there right now with everybody copying
digital
it.
Rights and copyright protection.
Yeah, fair use stuff. So this is a great way to do it. There's really no way that I know of to copy it from, because it's a Flash-based stream.
And of course, if you did, you would be breaking the law.
You'd be breaking the law. Yep. So that's why they're doing it that way. So people cannot copy it. They can watch it on their computer and they can catch up on last week's show, and they got 4 commercials in there, so
it's not bad.
not too bad, yeah.
Not too bad. You got any other sites for us?
No, I think this is pretty slow couple of weeks here, so in tech news, but it's too bad. Well, we got some other cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we've got. We're going to tell you a little bit about. We're going to talk about photo services online. A little bit about digital cameras. Just real basic, nothing too complicated. Just kind of what any consumer might be interested in. We can start off with just talking about digital photo hardware, of course. Right. Of course, I think almost everyone knows what a digital camera is now.
Yeah.
So we've got these. Let's see if I can hold it up here. So this is my personal camera. I just picked this up recently. It's fairly new. It's a 5 megapixel Canon. It has let's see if we can get this in here. It's got a nice zoom on it. Let's see if we get the lens out. Real basic. Let's flip it around. It's got a nice large screen on it. There I am. It takes videos. It takes photos. Very basic. I like this camera. It's the first new digital camera I've had, first digital camera I've ever had. Actually.
Which is just amazing to me that it's the first one. But that's a great. People might be familiar with the Canon ELPH series, and this is the digital ELPH.
Yeah, they've done a really good job with this series, I think.
Yeah, keeping them small, fit in your pocket easily. Mm-hmm. It's a lot better than my honker here. That's
But
5 years
let's look
old.
at these other cameras though as well.
Yeah, we got a couple others here. I'm gonna make Emmett do his work here. This is an older camera of mine, and I'm about due for a digital camera, although I have had one before. But this is a Kodak. It's a Kodak. What do they call it?
Easy Share.
Easy Share. That's what it is. Yep. So one nice thing about this is only 2.2 megapixels.
Which is actually, that's not bad at all.
It's not bad. I don't print the pictures. We just look at them on the computer and share them with friends and stuff like that. So having the high megapixel number doesn't really mean as much to me as it might to somebody who's actually taking the pictures into CVS or printing them on their printer at home.
Because really, that's where the quality comes in. It's when you're printing. That's where you're really going to see
they're
the difference.
5 megapixels is going to look a little bit better on a monitor, but it's going to have to be a pretty big monitor to notice a difference.
Right, to notice it.
So I like this. Another thing about this Kodak Easy Share, and they're still doing this with their newer EasyShare cameras is the dock. And this will charge the camera, charge the rechargeable batteries that
Great.
come with it. And it, it's a nice place just to store it, and it allows you to easily sync the camera with your computer.
Okay.
It comes with software that you can use, either the Kodak EasyShare software. There's a little button on the front of the dock that will, notifies the computer that the camera's attached as soon as you hit that button. And I have mine set up just to use the Windows picture transfer wizard,
Okay.
which is real nice. And it's charging it at the same time, which is a big issue with digital cameras. They just burn through batteries.
That's true, because you know what, I had mine. We wanted to show it off today, and
Yeah.
of course the battery's dead.
Yeah,
Right?
and you got to charge it.
And I had to charge it.
And the more megapixels, the more storage, the larger the little monitor on the back, and the more you use that, the quicker your batteries are
yeah,
gonna
the faster
die.
the battery's gonna die.
So here's another little Kodak EasyShare that's actually my sister's. It's a 3.1. It's real nice. She does not have the dock for it, but it still has the connector on the bottom for the dock.
For the EasyShare dock. Okay.
Yeah. So, and this one actually has an EasyShare button. So you hook it up to your computer, hit the button, it automatically recognizes it. Will start, the
the
file
photo
transfer,
transfer.
however you have it set up.
And I have seen quite a few cameras now coming out with those docks. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even with built-in printers and other little neat things like that.
Yeah,
So,
the Kodak EasyShare printers where you just snap the camera on the top, say I want to print this picture, and it prints
That's
it.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Well, okay, what price?
Yeah.
That's always a good question.
Well, I mean, this one you can't even get anymore, so we'll just take this out of the picture. But, a camera along this range, this is a couple years old. I know my mom just bought one that's about 3 megapixels, $150.
Yeah, not too bad now.
Not too bad. And, other than the batteries, if you get rechargeable batteries, $150, and the camera could essentially be free to use. There's no film to buy. She has a pretty good size secure digital card in it, which we'll show you a little bit later. So she can take 400 pictures. Now for that $150, hers takes video, no mic. So, it's nice that you can take video.
But you can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything. So she could have upgraded and got something else, but this is her first, which is sort of sad that Joe's getting his first and my mom's getting her first at the same time. But
And this Canon here. This was about $175. I want to say $170. Great camera. I love it so far. I think it works really well. And the price really wasn't that bad. I figure for that amount of money, this is a great little device for anyone, for home, for work. I mean, we use it a lot at work too, which works out very well. Then also, let's talk about the high-end stuff, because
yeah, unfortunately, we tried to bring one in.
we tried to
today,
bring
but-
in a nice SLR camera for you today, but unfortunately, my dad dropped it.
Yeah.
And so he has a nice, just like you would have a professional 35 millimeter camera with all the interchangeable lenses and things. This is a digital SLR. I think his is a 10 megapixel, which is amazingly
Yeah,
I mean,
just
it's just amazing.
high
Great
quality,
photos,
yeah.
really good photos.
Wedding photographers are starting to
Right,
use them.
yeah.
I mean, it's just so easy. They're getting a lot better with the printing and making the printing less expensive. So, those kind of cameras are just going to grow and grow and grow. And I mean, Nikon and some of these other companies that are already starting to stop making their 35 millimeter camera.
Yeah, a lot
I think
are.
Fuji just said, we're not making film anymore.
And those cameras, they're ranging from like $800 and up from there. So if you can afford a nice digital SLR, I would highly recommend it. It's a great camera. If you can't, these other cameras that are around 5-6 megapixel range will do you very well, and not cost you too much.
Definitely.
So all right, we've got the camera. All these cameras connect. You mentioned the Kodak EasyShare, so there's a dock, but most of these cameras are connecting by USB. Any computer you buy nowadays would support a USB connection. Also to note, they take these small. Let's see if we can get a shot. Make the guys work here. But we've got a small. I've got an SD card in mine. What it is, it's flash memory, and this. All the photos are stored on here. This one is a 16 megabyte card. This one came with the camera. Honestly, with the 5 megapixel quality on this camera, it's very hard for me to fit more than a few pictures on this card.
Yeah. When you buy a digital camera, you're really going to have to buy an upgraded card. A lot of them are starting to come with that SD card, like Joe just showed.
Right.
My
There's
sister's
a CF
here.
memory card. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
these like small cards. They're relatively
The compact
inexpensive.
flash here will get, in on here. This is the CF or compact flash. This is still a good one. I know a lot of the SLRs still come with this.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit bigger. This is a 512 meg SD, same as Joe's, but it's, I can't even do that math, but it's a lot bigger. And you can get those, up to
I mean,
two?
for a 2 gigabyte SD card, you're talking around $100, less, more, depending on the brand. The CF cards, those are up to like 4 and 8 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So if you're getting a high-end camera, or if you have if you have a lot of photos, most of those high megapixel cameras will come with the CF card because they can just hold quite a bit more photos.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking on a 2 gig, I couldn't tell you exactly, but I'm guessing 1,000 pictures.
Yeah, quite a few pictures with this.
5 megapixels at its highest quality setting.
Right.
So, I mean, you could take a 2-month trip and, not
and
run
not fill
out
up
of
the card.
space.
Yeah. So we've got the card. We can hook this up to. We take a couple pictures, hook it up using USB or using our flash cards. But a lot of times, the best thing about digital cameras is that you get to share the photos.
Yeah.
You may not. I mean, I don't print very many photos at all, but I definitely post a lot more for my friends to see online. I've got a couple websites. Let's just switch the monitor. So I was going around the studio earlier before we started shooting. Took some photos of Dan here.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, no problem. Let's see if we can get these in here. I use a program on my personal Mac that comes with the Mac called iPhoto. We'll talk about another software that Dan likes. I really like it too. Called Picasa from Google. Again.
Yeah.
We took some photos. I connected this camera up very easily using a USB cable, pulled those photos off. It took, 10 seconds maybe. It took me longer to take the photos than it did to pull them off the camera. Once I have the photos downloaded, I was able to pull them into this program. Now, there's a couple options that you have once you get your photos onto your computer. I'm going to show you a couple websites here. If you're sharing photos, it's always easy if you could just send them online to a photo sharing site. Similar to this one, we mentioned Kodak EasyShare. Now they have an EasyShare gallery. It's called KodakGallery.com. It was formerly Ophoto. I think they purchased Ophoto, and now it's their own special Kodak website. What you can do with Kodak EasyShare is not only put your photos online for like an online gallery to share with friends, but what's really nice is that you can also have them printed. Any size that you want, pretty much. I mean, resolution will vary, but you can have them printed. You can have them, put on borders, postcards, just anything you can imagine. If you can print it and you can put a photo on it, everything from mugs,
Christmas cards,
they can provide that service for you. Same with some of these other services that I'll show you as well. So there's Kodak EasyShare Gallery. That's at KodakGallery.com.
Is this a free service?
This service, actually, all these services are mostly free for uploading photos. But if you want to use any of these additional services, like the printing feature or allowing other people to even sometimes view your gallery, those services are often extra.
Okay.
Yeah, the printing services, I can almost guarantee you will be extra.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the basic using the gallery, uploading some photos, sharing it with friends, those are free.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kodak Gallery, I know my dad uses this. What he used to do with his 35mm camera, send them the pictures, they'd put them online, he could get them printed. But now he just syncs up his computers, puts them up there, and everyone can see what he has. The next one I'll show you here is called PhotoBucket. This is really popular with the MySpace group. Because PhotoBucket they do image hosting, and what that is you put your images on there. You can have a link to that image and put it anywhere. So you can send that link to your friends if you have an image that you want to send to them after you upload your photo here to PhotoBucket. Or what you can do is you can give them a link to your gallery so they can browse your gallery too. But PhotoBucket's really cool. I personally have not used this service very much. I just logged in and kind of got an idea of how it works, but I know. That's where the majority of the MySpace images and videos and all that kind of stuff are being stored right now. So it's pretty hot. This next one's called Snapfish. Snapfish is pretty popular. It's been around for a long time. Real basic. They started with doing the 35mm processing, where they'd turn them into digital photos. I'm just noticing on here, I haven't looked at this in a while, that it says it's a service of HP. So again, consolidating companies there. Again, free online sharing, personalized gifts that you can create from this, like mugs, booklets and things. Also, you can always print photos. So you upload your photo, if your friends want to print it, they can print it themselves, pay
Okay.
for it, download the photo, which is really cool.
That's very cool.
Or you, if you decide that you want to print some of these photos, you can do it yourself too.
Well, that's very cool. A friend that just had a baby, and she keeps emailing all these massive pictures to us.
That no one can open.
Yeah, and you know, if we could have them on a place like this, and then we could order prints, you know, prints of the pictures of the baby.
Right,
You
right.
know, I'm sure the women in my household would just love that, as would I, of course.
And I'll show you the
But
last one here. Oh.
That's first 20 free too. it
Yeah,
says.
yeah, yeah.
That's-
With that Snapfish, they're giving a couple prints for free,
Yeah.
so it gives you an idea. And these services are very easy to use. If you can use online mail or you can search the internet, you know how to do that kind of basic things, this will work out for you good.
Yeah, and you know, just real quickly, it says 12 cents a photo. You know, if you think about these things, they don't have to have a storefront. They don't have to have, you know, people waiting around, waiting for customers to come in. So they can do it for a lot less expensive now. You know, you're hurting the local CVS or wherever you're taking your photos, but you know, they can do it for just cheap.
And they
without
are
those-
quick too. They will
Yeah.
send those photos to you next day.
Yeah,
So
which
that's
is
really
pretty
good.
amazing.
This last one's called Smug Mug. This one I like quite a bit. Let me just get back to the homepage.
That's a great name.
Design-wise, it's a little, you know, it's a little cleaner on the design. Not their whole like philosophy here is not too many ads, not a lot of those like advertisements and things they're trying to sell you. Real basic. It's a gallery. So you can have there's a small free trial period. Then you can also have a paid account, but there's also a great pro account. So if you're a professional photographer or you take a lot of photos as a hobby, they make it very easy for you to upload those photos, make them look very nice without any advertisements, without their names stamped all over it, and that way it's something that you can really show to like a client or you can you share with your friends. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and there are some advantage to paying for a service like this. You
No,
know,
yeah,
you
there
don't
are.
get the ads. You don't get junk all over the page. So.
Yeah, sometimes it's beneficial to pay a few dollars
Yeah.
and work with one of those services.
And then these type of services really cost the companies a lot of money. I mean, whoever's doing it to do it for free.
Right.
You know, whether it's Kodak, if it's self-promotion or they're promoting somebody else, it costs them a lot of money. I heard an interesting thing a while back about YouTube, which is I think we showed off a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
$1 million a day for
Just
their,
for their streaming.
just for their connection to the internet. So, I mean, you guys have cable at home and cable internet at home, and you're using so much of that bandwidth. Well, these companies have to pay, and I heard that MySpace is up there too. You know, it costs MySpace $1 million or somewhere in there a day just for people to have the access to bring down those photos. So, I mean, photos and videos and everything else. So, it does cost a lot of money for these companies to do this. So we should note that.
Well, let's look. Well, I mentioned iPhoto, which is a really great program. I'll just pop that up real quick because we were looking at Dan's pretty pictures here.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple photos here that I just took right before our we started shooting here today. With this, I can open up a picture, of course, and you can edit. You can crop things out. Some red eye reducer. Probably don't need that on this photo. Let's pull Dan up here. What's really neat with iPhoto is, and I used this when I went on vacation over Christmas, is that I went out of the country visiting some relatives, took a lot of photos, I mean, almost 1,000 photos.
Yeah.
And before I left, what was really nice is I was able to, using this software, to burn them a DVD of the entire trip. So it was a big family reunion. We took a lot of videos, burned them all to a DVD that they could just pop right into their player at home and watch a show with music. Everything. I mean, moving photos, all done with this one piece of software. Very simple to do.
That's very
Yeah,
cool.
it was really neat. It was really nice thing to put together and lead for them. You know, for me to put the DVD together, it didn't take any time. The software took care of it for me.
That's amazing. And I mean, you would say DVD player like the DVD player in their home entertainment center.
Yeah, your normal home DVD player, the same one you'd watch movies on. Yeah, really neat.
Yeah, that is great.
Let's look at this Picasa program because I like Picasa quite a bit. And it's from Google.
And we should know, we talk
Yeah,
about
we don't
stuff
work
we
for
like.
Google
Yeah.
or anything, no.
And you know, it wasn't originally Google. It was
It
something
wasn't.
that was bought by Google because it's sort of a file organization tool.
Right.
And I mean, I have some pictures here of my little niece over in Germany. I'm sorry, niece, cousins. What is it? My cousin's daughter in Germany. But it actually goes through the hard drive, looks for pictures, and organizes them for you.
So even the pictures that you forgot about, that you
Yeah.
had no idea you had.
And I just asked it to search my documents and desktop, but it'll search the entire hard drive and it'll find every picture that's, Windows pictures, it's icons, pictures they use to make these icons. All those pictures are buried somewhere in Windows, and this will actually find everything, pictures that maybe got dumped somewhere by some
Camera or
software,
something.
that you couldn't find. So that's really kind of cool. Just helps you organize them. It's constantly, you can set it up to constantly run on the computer. So it's constantly going through and checking to see, okay, is he adding more pictures? What's going on? And it can constantly look for pictures. So that's just a real nice thing. You can view everything as a slideshow.
Can I edit photos on here too?
It's not real great from what I've found for editing photos. There are,
But it's pretty good for sorting, organizing, keeping track of your photos.
Yeah.
My dad actually keeps this on his desktop. So, and he's a big photo buff. He takes a lot of photos, and so he has thousands of photos, and this is probably the only way that he would ever keep them organized, I think.
Yeah, and it's just nice you can drag photos around and put them into another folder if you wanted to,
So this is called Picasa. This is the second version.
Yeah.
It's a free download. We should definitely say that, and it's also available at Google.com.
Yeah, and it's it's a little tricky to get to. If we can get in here, we'll go to Google.com here.
It's only available for a Windows PC, is that right?
It's actually only available for XP.
So Windows XP. So pretty much any computer you're buying now, it should be.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're at my Google personalized page, but if you go to any Google.com, click more, and down here, actually Google offers a lot of great little things. But here it is, Picasa. You can click on it. Now, one thing they try to get you to do, get the Google Pack. I would be very careful of that because it gets you Google Desktop.
And
it
a whole
gets
bunch
you
of other
Google.
things.
Yeah. So there's the free download to just the Picasa. And this is Firefox, so it's going to ask me where I want to save it, and I'm not going to go through all that. But that is a very cool little tool for helping you organize your photos.
That's great.
So, and I know a lot of people are starting to get a lot more into, taking digital photos, using the digital camera for family vacations, stuff like that. So, really, I know I have to get better about organizing my photos, keeping them in one place, and backing them up too.
Right. You should definitely add that.
Yeah, and maybe that'll be another show where we can talk about some easy ways to back up. Like Joe was talking about, burning a DVD of the photos isn't a bad idea. Mm-hmm. You got it in a slideshow, it's also another copy of those photos. Excuse me. We had a computer that I screwed up a while back, and fiance sat down at the computer and said, "Where are all the pictures?" And she couldn't find any of them. And with something like Picasa, it'd be a lot easier to find them. So,
That's great.
And I had to dig for them too.
Well, that's all that we have for photos for today. Covered the hardware. We covered all this great new software, the great websites, as well as the memory cards. If you have any questions at all about what we talked about today, the websites, you want any more information, even maybe about some camera brands, whatnot, feel free to send us an email or drop us a note at techpoints.com. Or, of course, you can email us at our Google address.
Yep, techpoint@gmail.com. And if you want the invite to Gmail, just send us an email and I'll send you out an invite right away.
That about wraps it up.
Yeah.
So we'll be back. Thank you very much.
Thank you.